The Running Man is a 2025 movie about Ben Richards, played by Glenn Powell, a blue-collar worker living in the slums of Co-op City, who can't afford medicine for his sick daughter. He's desperate, he's angry, and when he gets blacklisted from his job for union activism, he makes a choice that changes everything. He signs up for a reality TV show, where the prize is $1 billion, and the catch is that 5 hunters are trying to kill him. It's the kind of premise that sounds absolutely bonkers when you say it out loud, and that's exactly why it works. But here's the thing about The Running Man, and I mean this genuinely. It's nothing special, trust me on this, but it's so much fun, and honestly, I feel like we don't get big blockbusters like this anymore. It's big and fun because it's kind of small and neat, if that makes sense. It doesn't try to be more than it is, and somehow that restraint is what makes it so entertaining. Now, before I dive into the movie itself, we need to talk about Stephen King adaptations, because 2025 was actually kind of a weird year for them. King wrote The Running Man back in 1982, under the pseudonym Richard Bachman. This was actually his last Bachman book, before everyone figured out who he was. And King, more than most authors, has had this crazy relationship with Hollywood adaptations. Some are brilliant, some are not great. The Dark Tower, I'm looking at you. Some change the source material so drastically that they barely resemble what King wrote at all. Lawnmower Man. This year we got 4 Stephen King adaptations. 4! We had The Long Walk, The Monkey, The Life of Chuck, and this one. And honestly, The Long Walk really didn't work as a film. The Monkey is a short story that should have stayed a short story, kind of wound down by the end. The Life of Chuck was really cerebral, really unique, totally interesting. Actually provoked something in me. Mike Flanagan has a beautiful eye, and that movie looked great. But The Running Man, this is one that actually nailed the balance between respecting the source material and understanding what makes a movie fun. Edgar Wright, who directed this, the guy behind Shaun of the Dead, Baby Driver, all those snappy, stylish films, actually said in 2017 that if he could remake any movie, it would be The Running Man. And he meant a faithful adaptation of King's book, not a remake of the 1987 Arnold Schwarzenegger film, because that 1987 film completely changed the story. It took King's cynical, dark source material and turned it into this ugly, oppressive dystopia that didn't really capture what King was doing. Wright's approach is completely different. He keeps the bones of what King's wrote, the desperation, the propaganda, the way the network uses spectacle to distract the public. But he also modernizes it. The world feels sleek and grimy at the same time. Like it's got holographic screens everywhere and this lived-in ugliness. It's like how Blade Runner imagined 2017. But it feels like something that could actually happen. So in the story, Ben Richards is living in this future America that's completely broken. The economy is in shambles. There's this authoritarian media network that literally runs everything, and they placate the poor with violent game shows and reality TV. The most popular show is The Running Man. Contestants get $1 billion if they survive 30 days, while 5 hunters, elite assassins, basically try to kill them. Ben's daughter's sick, he needs medicine, he can't find work, so he signs up. He meets Dan Killian, the producer of the show, played by Josh Brolin, who's very good at playing this slimy network exec, and he's very genuinely committed to this. The casting in this is very good. So Brolin's character gives him an advance for his daughter's medicine and a promise of a safe house for his family. Then Ben gets $1,000 cash, a 12-hour head start, and a camera he has to use to film himself every day, or he loses his earnings. Though he'll still be hunted either way. What I love about this movie and how it sets it up is it takes what could be an incredibly dark and serious concept, a billionaire death game broadcast as entertainment, and it actually commits to making it fun and colorful and almost absurd. It's bright and flashy because the network wants it that way. That's the whole point. The dystopia is packaged as entertainment. And honestly, if the movie didn't lean into that tone, if it stayed completely grim, it would collapse under its own weight, but it doesn't. Glenn Powell is really good in this, and I say that as someone who's seen him in a lot of different roles. This is a role that requires him to be angry. Ben Richards is supposed to be this furious guy. He's furious at the system, at his circumstances, at being forced into this. That anger is crucial to making this character work. And it's actually something different from what we've seen Powell do before. He's usually like a fun, positive guy, but he grounds all the absurdity with genuine desperation. Josh Brolin is perfectly hateable as Killian. He's this smarmy producer who can sell anything. He's so disconnected from actual human suffering as show creates that he can offer Ben survival or reward like it's nothing. And Coleman Domingo as game show host Bobby Thompson is fantastic. He's caught in this machine that he knows is evil, and you can see the cognitive dissonance on his face every time he has to smile and announce another contestant. Michael Cera shows up as Elton, a rebel activist who helps Ben. Cera is well cast, and the movie is just overall very entertaining. Once the game starts, things move fast. Ben gets to New York in disguise, but the hunters track him down. He escapes to Boston, where there's this huge fight that kills a bunch of network soldiers. He gets sheltered by an anti-network activist named Bradley Throckmorton and his family, and he tries to expose the corruption in his next video message. But the network just deep fakes over his voice with obscenities and threats. Everything he says gets rewritten. This is where the movie satire actually has teeth. It's not just authoritarian bad. It's showing you exactly how propaganda works, how they take reality and twist it, how they manufacture consent through spectacle and deepfakes and just constant noise. Bradley helps him escape, and Ben ends up heading to various safe houses. He goes to Portland, then he's supposed to reach this bunker in Derry, Maine, but the bunker has been paved over by development. And at one point, he carjacks a woman named Amelia Williams, played by Amelia Jones, and takes her hostage. She realizes the truth about everything. She sees deepfakes of herself on the news, sees how the whole system is lying, and she agrees to help him instead. The pacing here is relentless. The movie doesn't let you sit with anything too long. You don't have time to poke holes in the logic because you're already moving on to the next scene. And honestly, that's smart filmmaking. It's not trying to be a slow burn, cerebral piece, it's trying to entertain you. This is where it gets interesting from a filmmaking standpoint. Ben makes it through so many days that the lower class, the people watching the show, start to actually believe in him. They see someone like them surviving against the system, and suddenly the show stops being entertainment and becomes something dangerous. The masses start rising up. The police can't control it. So Killian calls Ben on the plane they've hijacked and makes him an offer. Replace McCone as lead hunter. Give up, take the job, become part of the system. It's this moment of compromise, and Killian tells him that his wife and daughter are dead. They've been executed. They're gone. Now, here's where the book and movie diverge in really important ways. In Stephen King's novel, when Ben finds out Sheila and Kathy are dead, when he learns they're actually genuinely murders, he has nothing left to lose, so he accepts Killian's offer, kills the remaining hunters on the plane, kills McCone, and then he forces the pilots to fly toward the network headquarters. He crashes the plane into the building. The book ends with this massive explosion, lighting up the night like the wrath of God. Ben and Killian both die. It's nihilistic and dark and angry, and it's perfect for what King was doing, which was writing a book full of fury. But this is a Hollywood movie, right? Made in 2025 and directed by Edgar Wright, with a $110 million budget. You can't end a movie like that and expect it to work in theaters. So what does Wright do? He gets as close as he can without going all the way there. The video of Ben's family dying, it's a deep fake. It's fake. Killian manufactured it. Sheila and Kathy are alive, but Ben doesn't know that yet. So when he kills McCone and sends Amelia out with a parachute, when he tries to crash the plane into network headquarters, he's doing it anyway, even thinking his family is gone. The plane crashes, or seems to crash, but Ben has an auto eject that saves him. His family is alive, and when he reunites with them, when he sees that Killian lied about everything, it's earned, it's not cheap. The movie will keep everything dark about the concept. It still showed you the propaganda, the stakes, the willingness of the system to destroy families, but it lets you have that emotional payoff too. And then at the network, when the next season of The Running Man starts to air, the audience, finally seeing the truth about what's happening, turns on Killian. There's a riot. Bobby Thompson, the host, quits live on air. He can't do it anymore. And Ben emerges from the crowd and shoots Killian. It's this callback to the theme of the film, this idea that spectacle and entertainment can only control people for so long before they wake up. Look, I know I keep saying it, but it's worth saying. The movie is corny. It's deeply, genuinely corny. It takes itself seriously while doing all these ridiculous things, and somehow that's exactly what makes it work. The script has weak moments, some of the dialogue is forced, like Amelia's character really is forced. Everything there with her, like needing this other person to witness what's going on the plane, her whole moment of like, oh, I'm doing everything wrong. It's very corny. It's stupid. But the movie's fun, and it moves so fast and everyone involved seems to be having so much fun that you can't help but get swept up in it. The production design is impressive. The cinematographer, Chung Hoon Chung, creates this world that feels ugly and new and modern all at once. It's sleek and grimy in equal measure. You believe this economy is broken, that all these people are actually poor, that the network controls everything. And here's the thing about Edgar Wright on this, and I think that's important to acknowledge. This is his most expensive film, but it's also one of his most restrained. There's no Shaun of the Dead style rapid fire editing. There's no Baby Driver use of music to tell the story. This is a studio film, and Wright probably has less creative freedom than he's used to. You can tell he's trying to satisfy audiences rather than push his own style as aggressively, but there's still this fun kinetic energy that you don't get in a lot of other action movies. It's not safe in the way Jurassic World Rebirth is safe. That movie is just stale nothing, characters with nothing to say. This has personality, it has commitment. Here's the reality, though. This movie didn't do well. It made $68 million worldwide against a $110 million budget. It came out in November, and after being pushed back multiple times, and struggled to find an audience. I get it. There's a cold winter vibe to it. It's kind of sad underneath the fun. It's got this commentary on surveillance and dystopia and control that doesn't feel like summer blockbuster material. It feels more melancholic, more serious underneath the spectacle. But that doesn't make it a bad movie. It just makes it a movie that audiences had trouble finding. Here's my rule when I watch movies. If a movie respects its source material, is well cast, has everyone committed to entertaining you, doesn't take itself too seriously, that counts for something. The Running Man does all of that. It's not groundbreaking. It's not trying to reinvent anything. But it's very solid and very fun. It has more personality than something like Jurassic World Rebirth, which is just an empty studio product. It's even more fun than the recent Minecraft movie, which at least had some viral brain rot energy to it. You can tell they're dealing with a book that's simple and bare bones, a straightforward premise about a death game, and they're trying to add political commentary to it, which was in the original book. Stephen King's book had that idea of Ben Richards trying to get the word out to the people. But in a Hollywood movie, it's very tough to do this without oversaturating everything. It's harder than it sounds. If they didn't add any of that commentary, this would just be boring action. If they added too much, it would collapse under the weight of its own themes. Finding that balance is the work of filmmaking, and I think they nailed it for a Hollywood blockbuster. The Running Man isn't great, it's predictable, it's goofy, it's corny, but it's solid. And if you're not going in trying to be difficult or graded harshly, if you just watch a movie to have fun, this delivers. It's one of the better Stephen King adaptations we've gotten, especially compared to The Long Walk and The Monkey, and in a year where we got multiple King adaptations, that's something worth celebrating. So yeah, I really like The Running Man. It's nothing special, but it's exactly what a movie like this should be.